Good evening, everyone. I hope everyone is doing well tonight. My name is Meg Wheeler. I'm the Democratic candidate for the Massachusetts State Senate in the Plymouth and Norfolk District, and I'm here tonight for another community check-in. So I'm here every Tuesday night with these, and these are really just an opportunity for me to bring you some updates on what's going on, and also to hear from you on things you're concerned about, questions you have, and really just for us to have a conversation. So I do want to bring some updates today. Obviously, this was a very big week in Massachusetts because Governor Baker did in fact come out with his plan for reopening the economy. We had, been hearing for weeks and months, or almost a month, that the economy would reopen on May 18th, which was yesterday, Monday. But up until yesterday, there was no plan that the public had seen. And so there was a lot of anticipation about this plan and what it would look like and what businesses would be allowed to be open and what the requirements would be. And so I wanted to bring some of that information to you in case you're feeling a little bit overwhelmed by all of the different pieces of information that have been out there, or in case you just haven't had a chance to tune in and check out what the details are. Before I go into the specific details, I will say just a couple of points. So this plan was developed by a reopening advisory committee that was formed by the governor and by the state. And this committee had multiple people on it. One of the concerns that I had, and that other elected officials and other candidates had as well, and folks in our communities, is that there were people that we didn't see on this committee. So we didn't see anyone on this committee representing workers' rights. We didn't really see anyone on this committee representing parents, representing daycares. We didn't see people on this committee representing some of our most disenfranchised communities that are being hardest hit by COVID-19. We didn't see anyone on this committee that represented the voices of those with disabilities and those working to ensure that this plan is accessible. So there's lots of voices that unfortunately were left out of this conversation, and I think that's created a lot of concern about whether or not this plan is the right plan moving forward. I think there are also a lot of details that are missing from this plan. Now, understandably, we're all figuring this out, and no one really knows what will happen when we reopen, what this will look like, if there will be a resurgence. And certainly the state and the Department of Health have taken steps to try to understand what that looks like. So I do recognize the fact that there are we certainly don't know what the right answers are right now, but nonetheless, I do think, unfortunately, the way this was done has been incredibly stressful for small business owners, for parents, for employees wondering if they're going to be going back to work. And the fact that the plan came out the day that the economy was supposed to reopen was incredibly challenging for a lot of folks. So before I say too much more about that, I do want to just go over very briefly what the plan actually is. So if you'll bear with me one moment here, let me make sure I can get this correct. Okay, so nope, that's not it. Bear with me. Technology is not my friend today. Okay. And for those who are here live, let me know you're here live. I'd love to know. And let me know if you have any questions. Okay. So this is not the prettiest way to show this, but this is what we're going to go with because that's what we got. So let me pull my face. down real quick. So I do want to say, there's been a lot of conversation about, is this the right plan? Does this make sense? Are we moving too quickly? Are we moving not quickly enough? I think my perspective on this has been that, I think it is appropriate that we start having conversations and start taking steps towards reopening our economy. I am very concerned that if we do not do this correctly and at the right pace, that we will see a resurgence of cases and that we will end up in a worse position. I think there's already concern that when kids go back to school, people go back to work, that sometime in the fall or the winter, this will in fact happen. I'm personally concerned that this is going to happen when travel starts to open up considerably more. We hear stories about how Massachusetts was one of the hardest hit, but other states, even those that have reopened before us, aren't suffering as badly. I'm concerned that once travel really does open up and people are able to go all over the country, that will put not just us, but all of the states across the country at greater risk of seeing a resurgence. So I think it's really important that we take this plan and really think about if this makes the most sense. I've been hearing conversations, for example, with a lot of the houses of worship on the South Shore, talking about the fact that they don't think they're going to reopen even though they're allowed to, because they just don't think it's worth the risk. I know how desperately everyone wants to get out there. I mean, I am right there with you. It is tough being stuck at home. I'm hitting my wall as well, and I think a lot of us are. But I'm also really thinking about the fact that I don't want to be doing this in September, October, November, December. And I'm very concerned that if we do not take this seriously, that we will be. So I will continue to stress the importance of wearing a mask when you go out, of maintaining social distance, of limiting your interactions in public as much as possible. Obviously, there is a balance there, a mental health balance of needing a sense of community and needing to be out there, and I get that. But I think if we can just think about all of the actions we're taking, and is this necessary? Can we perhaps keep in mind the governor's safer at home advisory and continue to stay at home as much as possible so that we can truly bring the number of cases down? We can get out of this safely, or as safely as possible, and not be dealing with this 6 months, 9 months, 12 months from now. I will continue to reiterate my concerns over this plan because of the fact that so many stakeholders did not have a seat at the table and were not a part of the conversation in crafting this plan. I also think the fact that this plan was rolled out so quickly and now businesses need to react to it is very challenging for folks. And I know a lot of small business owners out there that I've talked to are really stressing about this, because now you're thinking, well, do I reopen? And if I do, what does that look like? So if you have any questions or concerns at all about this, we can't necessarily answer all of your questions, but we will certainly try. We will guide you to the right resources, as we're really monitoring what's available for small business owners. So if you are in one of these phased reopening plans and you're not sure what to do, please do reach out to us. You can always reach us at hello@megwheeler.com, and we would be more than happy to have a conversation with you to lead you to the resources you need, just to ensure that you're able to do this in the best way possible. I think just a couple of other things I'll mention. I think what's going to be really important, especially as we go into the summer and the beaches start opening back up and it is so nice out and people want to get out there, is that we continue to really respect the fact that this experience looks very different for different people. You may not be high risk, but someone else may be. And so continuing to wear your mask, continuing to socially distance, continuing to just be really respectful of the fact that these measures are in place because they're so important and because they really have worked to flatten this curve. We're still not there though. And I think that's critical to remember. I get the alerts on my phone every single day about the number of people who have died in this state, the number of positive cases, the number of hospitalizations, and the numbers aren't going down that much. I mean, people are still dying every single day from this. And I think it can be easy to forget that because we're all trying to escape it and move on. But this is very much still a real issue here. And it's so important for all of us as community members to continue to support each other and to help each other get through this. And I've been so proud of so many of the people in my community for how they've stepped up and really helped out. And so I'm just very grateful for all of the actions that every single one of you have taken to ensure that we do get through this together. So I'll leave it there and just to wrap it up, but I hope everybody is, again, staying safe and healthy, having a good evening, hopefully enjoying the nice weather outside. And as always, we'll be here every Tuesday at 7:30 p.m. for a community check-in. If there's ever anything you need, you can find us here. You can also go to our website, megwheeler.com. And if you want to ask a question, if you go to megwheeler.com/question, you can submit a question. I respond to every single question we receive. So, or you can drop a question here and I'm happy to come back and answer it. So I hope, again, everyone's doing well. I hope you're having a great night, and I will, I'll see you back here next Tuesday. But actually, before I go, I can't believe I was going to forget to mention this. Tomorrow night here on Facebook, on, let's see, we'll be on Facebook, on YouTube, on our website. I am hosting a cooking in quarantine special with my husband, Steve. We will be making, I think we're making tacos. I don't actually cook, so this is going to be very interesting, but I'm pretty sure he's planning on whipping up some pretty yummy tacos. And I am going to be sharing one of my Nana's favorite dessert recipes that is so simple to make. It's a great summer dessert, and I think you're going to love it. It's a no-bake dessert, which is a big plus for me since I don't really like to cook, and it's super easy, super delicious. So come back here for that. We'll be here tomorrow, Wednesday at 6 p.m. for Cooking in Quarantine. And otherwise, I will see you next week. Hope you have a safe and healthy and happy week, and I'll see you then. Bye.